Well, it's time for another spring canoe trip. I'm here in Algonquin Park at the Brûlé Lake access point, and it looks like it's going to be a fitting name for the access point for this trip because the forecast is calling for rain the entire 4 days I'll be out here. I've got a bunch of big portages ahead of me, hoping to catch some good fish, eat some good fish dinners, and make the most of this rainy weather. Let's do it. Made it onto the water here. Thankfully, the rain isn't too heavy yet. It's supposed to get heavier as the afternoon goes on and then lighten up again in the evening. So I'll be trying to make as much progress as I can, and hopefully setting up camp not in the rain. We'll see how that plan shakes out. This is a 1,600 meter portage to Brûlé Lake, and it is beautifully cleared and flat. This is one really nice thing about Algonquin. Beautiful portages. Well, for the past few hundred meters, portage has been completely flooded. It's solid ground underneath at least. It's not too mucky, but it's making for some wet feet. Got the boat all loaded up. Get on the water on Cranebill Lake here. Well, that's one portage behind us. I am thoroughly soaked. I'm expect to be for most of the trip, so I better get used to it. We've got the length of Little Brûlé Lake here to paddle, and then that opens up after a short creek into Brûlé Lake proper. Really lucky it's a tailwind because this would be absolutely nasty as a headwind. I'm just on my way back for the second load, and this is a really cool portage. Certainly not an easy one. It's uphill most of the way and it crosses the river at one point, but the river comes down through this portage in a series of little cascades, and they're really pretty. I'll show you some of them. Well, this is marked as one continuous portage, but there's actually a little pool here I have to paddle over halfway through, so we're gonna do that now. Feeling pretty sore after 2.5 kilometers of portaging today, and that's just one way. The wind has died down, which means the mosquitoes are out. Nowhere near as bad as I had them in Temagami. I'm glad for that. And now I've just got a short paddle across Clara Lake here to get to my campsite. Campsite is situated a decent ways up here on this little cliff. It's a nice vantage point. Dinner time. I give Norm his food first, and then I'll start cooking up my own. Man, there are a few better things than crawling into your warm sleeping bag after being soaked all day. Dry clothes, warm quilt, it's just heaven. I'm on the water right now and it's about 7:10 in the morning, so I've got a nice early start. Got a lot of portaging ahead of me. Combined almost 6 kilometers of portaging. I have a 3-kilometer portage, I have a kilometer-long portage, I have a 500, a 600, and an 850. Definitely gonna push me today, so really peaceful morning on the lake here though. I love these foggy morning paddles, so I'm gonna paddle slowly across Clara before I start my first portage. That's one portage down, 4 more to go. Unfortunately, it's only 500 meters out of the 6 kilometers I have to portage today, so not a large percentage distance-wise. I'm on McCormick Lake now, and I've got a little creek to paddle to get to Canoe Lake, so we'll follow this along and see where it takes us. Well, there's a portage here that wasn't marked on my map to go between McCormick Lake and Canoe Lake. I'm gonna try and shoot the creek. Hopefully this creek is navigable. Let's find out. that creek wasn't bad at all. We're on Cranebill Lake. Keep pushing on. We're rolling up to our second portage, and it goes directly up a steep hill. So this is gonna be a fun one. Another one down. We are on Pincher Lake now, and the sun is out. What a treat. I was not expecting a sunny day on this trip, and I'm very happy for it. What a beautiful day. All right, that's 3 out of 5 portages done. They were my 3 shortest portages of the day. I've got a 3 kilometer and a 1 kilometer left today. So yeah, gonna keep pushing forward and see how far I make it today. Listen to all the bullfrogs. Portage of the trip. This is the 3 kilometer portage at the Brûlé Lake. Slow and steady wins the race on this one. This orange fungus is pretty cool, growing in a lot of these muddy patches. This portage has turned proper nasty. It crossed this boggy section that I paddled some of, but it's really overgrown in there. It doesn't look like anybody's taken in quite some time. I walked my backpack and the camera case down that way, and it looks like I can skip a section of it by paddling part of the creek here. So I'm gonna do that, save a little bit of carrying. and they're these big, nasty, biting flies. I think they're horse flies. They're really getting Norm good. So I'm gonna try and get through this creek section quick because it seems like they're just out in the open water here. Well, it's 3:45 and I'm on a little creek flowing into Brûlé Lake. Portage did take me pretty much exactly 4 hours. And man, am I glad to put it behind me. It was really not well maintained. The first half of it was on the hiking trail, the Western Uplands backpacking trail, so that part was fine. It was the second half of it where it diverged from the trail, where I had 6 or 7 blowdowns and some really mucky sections. The horseflies were really bad and they burrow into Norm's fur and they really latch onto him. And yeah, he wasn't happy about it. So I'm trying to get out of this creek as quick as possible and out onto the open body of Brûlé Lake so that we can be out of the bugs. Well, that portage spat me out onto Powder Creek, right at the base of Browns Falls. I want to see if I can make it to the base of the falls, just going up the creek here to check it out. What an awesome waterfall. And what a way to end the day. Gonna take the creek down now into Brûlé Lake and find camp for the night. Well, this creek has pretty good flow, so we're moving down it pretty quick. Sometimes when the water's not moving very fast through a creek, with all the windy turns, they can take a real long time to go down. But this one's not gonna be as long as I thought. Now we've got a little slipped over a beaver dam to go. Woohoo! Plow through these branches. Watch your head, Norm. Yeah, not bad. combination of alder and current is not one I've had before. You really just get pushed into it in this creek. Hey, lie down, Norm, lie down, lie down, lie down, lie down, lie down, lie down, lie down. Oh, I thought you were gonna hit your head, buddy. You're too crazy. After all those really dense portages, it's funny to see something man-made out here. Oh man, I've been sitting here killing bugs in the tent for, I don't know, too long. There are a lot of mosquitoes outside, so it's gonna be a tent meal today. I don't really want to run all the way back down to the water to fill my pot and go out in the bugs to cook up a freeze-dried meal, so I'm just gonna snack on a protein bar and some beef jerky. I know it's not a proper meal, but it'll do. Norm's got his food. Let's see what I brought with me today. Dried mango, trail mix, beef jerky, and protein bars. So, mix and match of these is gonna be my dinner tonight. We got camp all packed up here and go back down to the boat, which is basically a short portage away here. This campsite being all the way up on the cliff. Get loaded up and get on the water. I'll give you guys a little fast forward of the path down. Well, I'm getting a real late start today. It's 10:40 and I'm just hitting the water. I had such a long day yesterday that I just needed to sleep in this morning. Gonna make my way across Brûlé Lake here, troll a line along the way, and head towards the 500-meter portage to Lily Pond Lake. Got a nice tailwind here, and maybe a fish will bite. So far, no luck this whole trip. Let's see what luck we have today. tiny little turtle. So cool. Well, there used to be a village called Brûlé here, or Brûlé. I don't know which one to call it, but this must be a remnant from the old village. The landing on that last portage was really brutal. Some fallen trees and some really overgrown marshy sections that I had to get out of the boat and push through. So happy to be on the water again. It's also really hot today compared to yesterday. The warm weather definitely brings the bugs out, so pros and cons. This section of the portage is super overgrown. At least I could find my way through, but man, most of it's pretty open. But yeah, this section just super overgrown. Well, it's officially raining. I don't mind, it's pretty hot out, so coming down pretty good, that's for sure. Oh man, these long portages, they feel like they never end. There's some thunder in the distance too. I've got my canoe just pinned up against these two trees here, using it as a bit of a rain shelter while I stop to take a quick break here. Super tired after yesterday. Another one of these today. It's tough in quick succession, but we'll get through it. Good job, buddy. Well, that's one load to Cranebill Lake. Oh man, was I glad to see water. Now we just gotta go grab the canoe and we'll be at our campsite after a very quick paddle across the lake. We're back at the canoe. Take this to the end and the portage is done. Oh, it's good to be done this one. Let's get to the campsite. Well, it's been more than 15 minutes since I last heard thunder. The rain has slowed to pretty much a drizzle, and the thunder was getting quieter the whole time. The worst of the storm has passed me, unless it's got another gale coming through, but that should be it. So I'm gonna go find camp and lie down and rest my back for a bit, because man, after a day like yesterday, stacking on another 2.5 kilometer portage, that was tough. That was tough. We've reached camp. Looks like a nice one. Good boy. pine tree here is just monstrous, towering above all the other ones. All the conifers here have new growth forming. Really beautiful part of springtime. Oh man, that was a race against the rain, but I made it into the tent just in time. I got everything that can't get wet safely either under the vestibule or in the dry pack, and it's gonna be a tent meal. Gonna enjoy the pad thai. Norm already ate his food. Yeah, gonna have a cozy evening. Hopefully get a little bit of a break from the rain to take the barrel back into the woods. And otherwise, I'm all settled. Some thunder in the distance. The rain is back. I got the barrel into the woods, and I even had a little bit of a sunset, which was nice. And now I'm back in the tent, and we've got the sound of the rain on the fly. Gonna read another chapter of my book and call it for the night. Well, after that crazy storm last night, we have a beautiful sunny morning today. Off on the water for the final day, day 4. I've got 5 portages ahead of me, all of them 500 meters or under. So no long hauls like I had yesterday or the day before, which is nice. I'm really in no rush, so I'm gonna fish along the way. Really hope for a bite. Really sucks to come out here and catch no fish this whole time, but it is what it is. That's just how it goes sometimes with fishing. So let's see what we can get. That's one portage down, and we're on Moccasin Lake now. Keep pushing on. tadpoles swimming around in the water here. Well, we're on Brûlé Lake now, and I can see the start of the 450-meter portage. That's going to take us into Brûlé Lake. I could see it from the end of the last portage, so just a tiny lake here to paddle across. I didn't even bother unclipping all the stuff from my bag and everything, just kind of haphazardly threw it all in the canoe and doing this 2-minute paddle across the lake to start the next one. We've made it to Brûlé Lake. That's 4 out of 5 done for the day. And I'm on Sawyer Lake right now. That last 310-meter portage is going to take me back to Brûlé Lake, where this whole trip started. And we are rolling up to our final portage of the trip. 310 meters back to Brûlé Lake, where we started the trip. And it feels good to have put all those portages behind us. Portage complete. That feels really good. And it's a beautiful sunny day and a beautiful last paddle across my final lake back to the car. That was a heavy trip. Some awesome landmarks are along the way. Browns Falls was a huge surprise. What an awesome falls there. The little cascades around Clara Lake, the portage in there. Just some really nice lakes that I had all to myself along the way. Gonna really soak in this last paddle before I have to get back to the city and work tomorrow. Well, that's all she wrote. Rolling up to the access point now. Another trip behind me. Another one coming up soon. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and you'll stick around for the next one. Have a good one.